Welcome to Football Cruise on Ninja Footballers TV. We are a few days to the World Cup. The fever is gradually coming in. As you all know, the Super Eagles won't be making it to Qatar. But, for some of us, we've gone past it. For some of us, we still have strong heads that, we don't move on. You understand? We've moved on. And, now that teams are releasing their squads. Bolu, how are you feeling? The World Cup is around the corner. No Super Eagles. Have you moved on, or you still have that strong head? That let's just go on.
Oh well, World Cup squads are out. Super Eagles squad is also out. Don't ask me what. Well, that's the situation we find ourselves in. The World Cup squads are out. It still feels very awkward that there's a World Cup in the winter.
Yeah.
It's less than a week left to the World Cup. It does feel very different. I don't know if the Super Eagles not qualifying also adds to that, but it still feels very weird. And maybe when the game starts, it will really get into the World Cup fever. But then without Nigeria, it's just different. You're just there as a fan, as a neutral. You just want to see all the violence that wants to happen and what the players want to do to each other on the pitch and all the goals that wants to be scored and all that. So looking forward to the World Cup purely as a football fan. But the fact that the Super Eagles are not there as a Nigerian gives me a bit of withdraw out to it, but still it's football and would enjoy it.
All right, Super Ned, for you, are you one of those people who said they've moved on, but now that squads are out, you're feeling it again that Super Eagles will not be there? What's your feeling right now regarding the World Cup?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to the World Cup actually. Yeah, I'm actually. It's sad that we're not there, but the sadness has been pushed away. I have a few friends, on Ireland who haven't moved on. One of them might have bet his land on that Nigeria-Ghana game and probably lost a bet, and that's why he has been hitting on that game ever since then. But some of us have moved on. Like me, I've moved on. At least we won't be watching the World Cup with tension in our heart. We don't have
with our calculators in our hands.
Exactly, we'll not be having calculators in our hand. No Argentina to come and beat us again, because it's like every time we go to a World Cup, Argentina is always there to just give us our knocking where we are tired. Let us be prepared that embarrassment for one World Cup. So yeah, we're moving on. I'm looking forward to the World Cup, and let's let the World Cup come along. We're ready.
All right, talking about being ready for the World Cup, the list is out. The Super Eagles, we've gone past Costa Rica, where the home base teams prosecuted that friendly in San Jose. So up next for the Super Eagles is that prestigious friendly game against Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo. So the squad is out, like we talked earlier. We'll go on a quick break now. After we come back from this break, we're going to look into the squad and, what's your take on the squad and all that. Looking forward to that game against Portugal. So guys, stick around with us. It is still Football Cruise. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, guys. It is still Football Cruise on Ninja Footballers TV. Now, guys, the 23-man squad was released for that friendly game against Portugal. Of course, Portugal will be in the World Cup. The Super Eagles won't be at the World Cup. So let's look at that squad now. Let's start from the goalkeeping department. Maduka Okoye, Francis Uzoho, and Adebayo Adele. Quick one. I don't know. We have nothing much to say on this department, but the regulars, Okoye, Uzoho and Adele. Quick one, what do you make of this goalkeeping department? Do you think we're still missing something from that department?
Peseiro couldn't have done better than what he called up. At least Uzoho had been playing ever since his Old Trafford masterclass. He had been keeping goal for Omonia Nicosia. Just over the weekend, he kept a clean sheet, second clean sheet of the season. So I think he's the one that will likely man that goal against Portugal. Adebayo Adele has also been in goal, and he also kept a clean sheet over the weekend. Johnny Okoye that was missing in action. So I think for the goalkeeping department, we have two of our goalkeepers playing, and I think they're good to go for the Portugal friendly.
Bolo, quick one for you. What do you make of the goalkeeping department? Do you think we're still missing something?
I agree with him that we're at a point now where Maduka Okoye is automatically second choice based on the fact that he's not been playing for his club.
He's here to play on that Peseiro as well.
He's here to play on that Peseiro as well. And Uzoho has been in goal throughout Peseiro's reign so far. He's also been in form for his club, that Old Trafford masterclass, like he said. And we're playing against Ronaldo again, so I'd like to see Uzoho against Ronaldo again. If he can keep the goal, if he can keep out the goal twice in the space of less than 2 months, I wouldn't mind that. So that would be nice to see Uzoho. I think he deserves to start in a big friendly like that. So the goalkeeping department is okay.
All right, from the goalkeeping department now, let's move to the defense. This is where it gets interested. William Troost-Ekong, who's been fantastic for Watford in recent games. Olusa Nda makes a return to the team. Calvin Bassey, Kevin Akpoguma, Chidebere Duru, Tyrone Eboyi makes a return. Bruno Onyemaechi and Bright Osayi Samuel. Supernet, What do you make of this players called up for the defensive positions?
Well,
I like the fact that it's quite refreshing. You know,
it's
new
a
names
refreshing,
and all that.
it's a refreshing defensive look. No Awazim, even though he has been doing okay in Croatia. I think that's a statement. You know, we have to look at players that are doing it in bigger league than Croatia. So Bruno Yemichi, new call-up. Vitus Samuel, we've been talking about bringing someone in that can, you know, challenge that right back position with Aina, and with Aina's injury, that gives Bright a chance to take a claim for the right back slot. Though he has Ebuehi, who has been in the team for a while, and also informed for Empoli to, you know, drag that position with. I think on the defensive, the right back position look covered. We have two players that will battle it out for who will start there. Ebuehi or Sai, whoever Peseiro think he wants will have a go ahead. On the left, Duru, the local boy, and Onyemaechi, the new boy. It will be very interesting to see who Peseiro goes with for that left back position, because we know Bassi will be playing centre back, depending on if he returns on time from his injury, because he was injured over the weekend. But we are expecting a Bassi Apogoma centre back pairing, depending on if Bassi will come back in time from that injury scare he had over the weekend. We are yet to ascertain the duration of his injury. So if Bassi won't be, then we're likely to Ikong Apoguma. You know, Olisando, I don't expect him to start that game. We'll come from the bench, and I think defensive, well and good. We'll just see what they can give against Ronaldo and company.
Yeah, Bolu, for you, Balogun missed out. Awadzim, like you said, missed out. I mean, Kenneth Omero as well, you know, is not in this squad. Do you think it's time we move past these players? And what do you make of the defenders that have been called up in their stead?
Yeah, if we look at it holistically, this is the end of another international year, another international calendar, and we need to make this evolution that we've been talking about. We need to make it official. We need to see signs that things are actually changing, because you mentioned 3 names that are usually in the squad, and you know, you think that they sound like big names, but then it's not like they've been playing much recently. We need new players in defense. We need, you know, and defense is a very, very important position on the pitch in modern day football, because you know you need to pass out from the back and all that. Play starts on the back, so you need to have defenders who are abreast of, you know, the current systems, who are very, very capable of doing everything in defense. That can run. That can chase after strikers, that can also pass and do everything that is required. So I think, we need to have a few fresh faces. So that's good, especially in the centre-back positions. And I would also like to see Akpo Goma get, you know, a consecutive run of games for Super Eagles. So he started in the last game against Algeria. I would like to see him against Portugal as well. It's yet to be seen who would partner him in defence. Would it be Ekong? Probably. Would it be Bassi if he can recover in time? I'm also looking forward to that. I'd also like to see Ulisanda in action for the Super Eagles again, because it's been pretty impressive for Pirates this season. So I think he deserves another call-up and another game for Nigeria. So I'm looking forward to what defensive combination we come up with.
All right, you know, good to see these defenders getting called up. You talked about Olisanda, you know, fresh from winning the MTN 8 Cup final in South Africa as well. You know, just to mention Zaidu Sanusi, Ola Aino, these guys are injured. So maybe that's another reason why you see these new guys get into the team. Now, from the defense, let's move into the midfield positions. Another place it gets interesting as well. Joseph Aribo makes the squad. Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka, and a return for Ogenekaro Etebo. I think the big talking points from this midfield has to be the return of Ogenekaro Etebo. Super Ned, no Frank Onyeka, Rafael Onyedika, who was with the team, you know, the last friendly game. Is it surprising for you, you know, for him to miss out on the squad?
Well, in the light of where I'm actually, you know, I've always been one who hammers so much on our midfield issues. You know, I still feel like Peseiro just went with the regular faces. He just called names based on, okay, they've been there, let's just call this name to come butter up the midfield and let's move on. But for me, I don't see how will I put it? I don't see the tactical synchronization in those 5 midfielders he called up, because 3 of them are like defensive-minded midfielders. If you talk about the Tebo, if you talk about Onyeka, if you talk about Ndidi, these are defensive-minded midfielders. Of course, Onyeka is more box-to-box, but these guys are more defensive-minded. There's nothing impressive about them in offensive transitions. Then when you're talking about Iwobi, that's our only creative hub.
Yeah,
Aribo is there, but Aribo is not someone I can call creative in the middle of the game, in the middle game, that's in the central midfield position. His best position is always close to the box.
His position has always sparked few debates.
He has always been close to the box. That's always been his best position. Even at Southampton, he's being played on the wing sometimes, played up front in the front 2. They're trying to figure out his best position, and every time he has played up top, he has always excelled in the Super Eagles, when everybody playing in the center, he's always shown limitation. And for me, I think it's going to be a problem against a very well-drilled Portugal midfield, because in that midfield, that list, what I see there is 2 destroyers, or more like 3 destroyers, 1 creative hub, and 1 guy who would yet to figure out if he's a midfielder or a forward. Because so for me, it's an unbalanced midfield listing, and I'm not really impressed with it. Onyedika's absence is shocking. He's one of our better midfielders this season. Ahazan's the continued ignorance of Ahazan in the Super Eagles is shocking. I am not impressed with the midfield listing, honestly. But we just have to go with what Peseiro had listed and wish the Super Eagles the best.
Bolu Superned is not impressed. I don't know. Are you impressed with that midfield position? What do you make of the return of Ogenekari Etebo to the side? I mean, he's in Greece now, trying to get his career back on track. Yeah. So are you impressed with the midfield call-ups for the Super Eagles?
Like he said, I've always been critical of our midfield departments. I feel like we can do more. And now we are simply as who I imagine. Alassane Yusuf and Rafael Onyedika.
The bone were head-to-head this past weekend.
Yeah, they were head-to-head this past weekend as well.
And it was a beautiful game.
And I've always, I want to see new faces in that midfield. But in the same way, Peseiro, this is a big friendly. This is a friendly which would probably matter in FIFA rankings and all that. And Peseiro is playing against his country as well. So you need to consider that. So he's probably trying to bring his most experienced midfielders. And I understand that because Portugal has a very fantastic midfield combination. And we need to be ready for that. So I would like to see, personally, I'd like to see a midfield trio with Ndidi. I would like to see what Ndidi can do under Peseiro, because we've not seen him under Peseiro so far. Ndidi, Iwobi, and possibly Onyeka, because I'm just a big fan of Onyeka. I really love his box-to-box game, and I would like to see him in a game like that. So I think that 3 should start the game. And, well, you can say Onyedika is not there and all that, but Ndidi is back, which is very important for us. Iwobi is in form. And I'd like to see Frank Onyeka as well, and possibly Aribo in the second half. So I think it's not bad enough. It's just one game against a very good team, so it's not bad enough.
All right, from the midfield positions, we'll wrap up, with the forward positions now. I mean, we always have, huge numbers in these forward positions as well. Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Ademola Lookman, who's in form in the Serie A, Terry Murphy as well, in form in the Ligue 1. Paul Onuachu, I mean, if he doesn't make this list, it's going to be some kind of a surprise, with his goal scoring form as well. So Onuachu is back. Victor Osimhen and Emmanuel Dennis. Some notable names miss out. Tawa Woni is not there, and some other strikers that comes at the top of your head who misses out. But, generally, what do you make of this forward positions, the players that have been called up?
The best department in the team.
Always the best, yeah.
The most stacked department, the most informed department, the department that is keeping Nigeria on the lips of most football fans around the world.
Yeah.
Victor Osimhen is in the form of his blood, of his life. Ademola Lookman, over the week I called him Adefire. He's on fire. That guy is just.
We have another penalty taker.
And he's a fantastic penalty. He has improved since his Fulham days when he shook that Panenka.
Panenka, yeah, I remember that game.
So Adefire is just his confidence right now is just on another level. I think it's going to be a starter in that game, alongside Osimhen and Moses Simon would likely play on the left wing. I think these are the guys that I know will start that game. Chukwueze will likely come from the bench. For me, I have no complaint about the department. I think the only guy there that I know haven't been getting at most games might say Emmanuel Dennis, but his quality is not in doubt, and I know he's not going to be a starter. So it's good. The department is okay. That attacking department is okay. But the thing is, my only worry will be, would they be able to deliver against Portugal based on the midfield deficiency I know we have, the ball playing deficiency I know we have in our midfield? They are players that can score goals. We have seen them doing it week in, week out. People like Osimhen, Onuachu, Ademola Lookman. But it's because they are having the service from their wingers, from their midfielders. Are we going to see the same for the Super Eagles? It will be going to be overworked that day. We'll find out. But I'm impressed with the attacking list. So, yeah.
Paul Onuachu makes a return. Like I said, he's been on fire in Belgium. And Terry Murphy, I think he's one name we are not. Under Peseiro, he's had a blistering start. When it comes to the Super Eagles. What do you make of these two forwards, Paul Onuachu and Terry Murphy? Paul Onuachu, I mean, when it comes to the Super Eagles, people are, come out to say he's not delivered for the Super Eagles and all that. He's done well for Genk in Belgium. But, these two players, what can you say about these two players, and where do you see them flourishing under Peseiro moving forward?
I would sum up our attacking call-ups we called up 7 attackers and 6 of them scored last weekend. So it shows that we've called up very, very informed attackers. Every single person on that list deserves a call-up. And going to
some persons might not agree with Dennis actually, but
yeah, some persons might not agree, but I mean, it's also a quality, like you said, his quality is not in doubt, and tactically, what he can bring off the bench in a game like that, his speed and all that. I think it's a useful weapon to have in a game like that. And now going to the two players you mentioned, Terry Murphy and Onuachu specifically. Terry Murphy has been fantastic on that Peseiro. He's probably been our most improved player, one of the most reliable players since Peseiro came in, and it's impressive. The season is also having at club level. So I hope he does get enough minutes in that game, because I think he deserves to play a game of that magnitude for Nigeria. And also on the other hand, we have someone like Onuachu who hasn't always had that luck of the national team not playing to his strengths, because this is international football, not club football. But Onuachu is who he is. He's a goal scorer. He's someone who just creates for him, put the ball in a good position for him, he will do the rest. And he's that kind of guy. And I think in a game like that, if we're looking for a goal, you can always call on Onuachu. He's red hot right now. He has scored 6 goals in his past 3 games. That's the kind of person, that's the kind of option to bring off
blistering form.
Yeah, absolutely amazing form. So I think it's good to have that combination of players who are actually in form, who actually deserve to be in the national team right now, not those players who are there on merit based on the name they have or whatever. That attack, I'm very happy with that attack. 6 players who are on form, 7 players who can actually execute the job against Portugal, and I'm happy that I can't really have complaints.
All right, guys. So that's a pretty interesting squad to take on Portugal. And talking about Portugal, they'll be missing some few names as well. The likes of Diogo Jota, who picked up an injury as well, and we'll be going to the World Cup with Portugal. But talking about that game against Portugal, that game is coming up on the 17th of November, just 3 days before the kickoff of the World Cup. So Portugal will be looking forward to facing Nigeria. They want to face an African opposition to see how they will test their might against African teams in the World Cup. Guys, before we wrap up, quick one. What are your predictions for the games? What are you expecting? Super Eagles against Portugal. What do you want to see, and what are your scoreline predictions for that game?
Well, I believe Portugal will win that game. They have too much quality, but I believe the Super Eagles will not go down without a fight. I expect a fight. And if, like Bolu said, if we play a 3-man midfield, I think we might be able to get something better from that game. But if we go with our usual 2-man midfield under Peseiro, with Murphy and Osimhen up front, not getting service, well, we might struggle. But if we play with a 3-man midfield, Onyeka, Ndidi, and Iwobi, we might have a chance to really get something positive. But I think Portugal will win the game.
Bolu, what are your predictions for that game, and what are your expectations?
Based on the fact that Peseiro is Portuguese out, the fan in me hopes that we can draw or something or play a very good game against them. But looking at Peseiro's record with the Super Eagles so far, he has lost all his friendly games. And we're playing against Portugal away in their traditional home stadium at Sporting Lisbon Stadium. So it's not looking good for us. If we can score a couple of goals, if we can get a score draw or something, that would be very, very good for us. Especially for the fact that we're not even going to the World Cup. So the motivation levels are not particularly there against a team that is preparing for the World Cup in a few days. So if we can score a couple of goals, that would be good enough for us. At least we can end the year on that note, that we scored a couple of goals against Portugal and prepare for next year's qualifiers.
Yeah. All right, Algeria has gone by. We lost against Algeria. Costa Rica, the home base guys, they lost against Costa Rica. Portugal in Lisbon, for me, I'm expecting a good performance from that game. I'm sure we're all expecting to see a good performance. So, but like I said, I'm trying to think towards a win for Portugal, but we want to see a good performance from the Super Eagles, and hopefully they do just that and put on a better performance. So guys, we're looking forward to that game. Like I said, that game is coming up on the 17th of November. It's not going to be like the Costa Rica game where we have to stay awake all night to watch that game. So you want to keep, just mark that date in your calendar for you to watch the Super Eagles against Portugal. Guys, with that is a wrap on today's edition of Football Cruise on Nigeria Footballers TV. We're all getting ready for the World Cup, looking forward to it. Yeah. And, how are you going to enjoy the action, the World Cup and all that?
I'm going to enjoy every game. I'm going to enjoy watching my Morocco, because that's my second African team. I know they will not go so far, but hey, I'm rooting for Morocco. Team Morocco.
Are you going to be watching Ghana, Bolu?
Anything against Ghana. Anything
Ghana
against Ghana.
Ghana must fall.
After we play Portugal, I'll be supporting Nigeria obviously against Portugal. But once Portugal's campaign starts, I'm rooting for Portugal throughout the game against Ghana. Everything against Ghana. I'm not even hiding it. Everything against Ghana.
I'm predicting 2-0 like in Ghana.
I agree.
All right, guys, it's a wrap on Football Cruise today. Don't forget to always keep it up with us across all our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for premium Nigerian football content. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've been with David on the show, and of course with Bolu on the show. Till we come away again next time, keep cruising. Bye-bye.